Hello, everybody. A little bit different format tonight. I don't have my mic, as you can tell. Hopefully, everybody can hear me just fine. I'm Spirit of 420 because everything I do is just so damn 420. And just real quick, we do have some guests on, but I was thinking about it today. I think I'm going to start explaining, or if you will, describing when I tell people my name and try to give an idea of the meaning behind it. And I used to say Spirit of St. Louis. I'm now going to go with Spirit of Christmas because that's really what it is. It's about the spirit of 420, the camaraderie and everything that goes along with it. With that said, again, the show is going to be a little bit different. I'm still going to be smoking my Mary Jane. It's my medicine. And believe me, one of my guests for sure is going to be joining me if he's not already joining me right now behind the scenes. But tonight, we do have military vet help. Which is a great group. Excuse me, a great group of guys. Obviously, the bulk of them are U.S. veterans from all different branches, and the whole idea behind what they do is behind the hashtag. I'm sure some have seen it or heard the saying 22-0. 22 U.S. vets on average die by suicide each day, and obviously their whole meaning and their whole purpose and everything they do is to prevent that and take that number down to zero, obviously, as best that they can. And in doing so, obviously bring a lot of awareness to what these vets go through when they come home. With that said, I'm about to bring on a couple of guys. One guy is, I just call him Duck, and he'll introduce himself here in a minute. And the other guy is Dirty Medic. Dirty Medic is actually a vet, but he is also a badass marijuana grower. I think he's on his third or fourth. He'll tell you he's either on his third or fourth harvest. He also has a live channel. So if you we'll have it in a minute. He'll throw it to me and I'm going to pop it up into the stream so everybody can see it. But here we go. So I'm going to bring him on. This is my first time doing this kind of thing here with three. So hopefully it goes pretty well. I'll just be kind of standing over here because that's where it just puts me in the logo, but you guys can still hear me. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and give the floor. You guys say hello, and then I'm going to give the floor to you for a minute, Duck.
Hey, quack, quack, motherfuckers. The Burning Duck. Actually, my actual name is Michael Cap, COO of Military Vet Help. Thank you guys for joining in today.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Dirty Medic with Military Vet Help and Discord.gg Urban Growers.
And I was, I don't know if you could hear me before the show, Dirty, but you're on your third or fourth harvest?
Seventh.
So
Seventh harvest, but fourth kind of bonsai harvest, I guess.
Oh, okay. And that's when you started streaming them, right? Was with the...
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when you told me your fourth, you were talking about that's the fourth one that you've done live. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, before we get started, I know that... Duck would like to kind of give an introduction. I gave you a little bit, but this guy is the CEO, which means he is the operations motherfucking officer.
COO, actually.
You said, I thought you said COO.
Yeah, COO.
Yeah, that's what I said. Operations officer. That's what I said. You're the motherfucking operations officer, brother. This is the CEO is the face of it, but usually I see that the CEO is the one that's doing the work on the ground, if you will. So with that said, I'm going to let you have the floor, Duck.
Yeah, Military Vet Help is a company, obviously, that is centered around bringing 22-0. What a lot of people aren't aware of is each and every day, 22 veterans that are home stateside die by suicide every day. And Military Vet Help is designed to use blockchain technology to help eradicate that number. We're using a lot of different innovative ways to raise fundings, a lot of different innovative ways to do research. And our overall goal is basically to help veterans all around. Housing homeless veterans is part of something that we do. Helping feed veterans is another thing that we do. And we're always reaching out and try to find different partnerships to help in anything veteran related. So not only that, down the road, we actually have a lot of plans for active members as well, which are always welcome. And we do have a weekly Twitter Spaces, which is under the Division 22, which is our mental health division of Military Vet Help. And basically, it's just a safe space where veterans can come in, tell their story, If they need somebody to lean on, the community's there for them for support and help them through the difficult times. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell, but it's much broader than that. But if I had to give a quick synopsis of it, that's what it is. So.
Oh, I had you still getting used to all this stuff, man. I had muted my mic so that I didn't interrupt you or anything, and I forgot to pull it off on you. Anyway, so Medic, looks like there's somebody here. I don't know if you saw the shout out there. Dave Pincher's giving you a shout out. I'm sure you would like to say hello to him.
What's up, Dave? That's Urban Growers right there.
Is that one of them right there?
Yeah.
So hey, Dave, there's just so y'all know, and everybody's aware who's maybe tuning in for the first time, as well as the gentleman that I have on here with us. We do tend to have how does it say, a little bit of lag, if you will, just due to the nature of streaming. So I will say this: if you want to throw maybe your handle in, and what I mean by that is your Twitter handle, Dave. Then we will be absolutely. I'll go ahead and throw it up here. That way people can follow you. And I'm assuming you're probably going to be a wealth of information when it comes to those seeds. So with that said, let's kind of start off like this. You guys know what I do. I mean, I sit on here and I smoke my marijuana, right? Which we all know Dirty does too.
Knocked a lot of football too, man.
But we also know though that Duck is not the stoner, and that's fine. But let me just tell everybody in the audience that Duck has the stoner memory, and he he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm just giving you hell, Duck. You know that.
No, you're good, man. If you had a good walk around the home, man, you would see that the wallpaper paper Post-it notes, man. I got Post-it notes everywhere reminding me to call this person, do this thing, or what have you. And it's just the life I live, man. I don't know what to say.
Maybe you and I just continue to have more and more in common. You see what I'm saying? Like, and these are in prioritized order, my friend. You know what I'm saying? This is
right. Well,
this is filed.
Now, mind you, the only other thing that I love more than Post-it notes is right here. These things. I probably can't tell what they are. Little cue cards or what have you. Each one of these has a contact name, something I did that day. I could go back through them and pull everything forward. One thing is I'm not like a super tech guy, so I don't go into the calendar on my computer to set all the dates and all my meetings on the calendar, and a reminder pops up. Everything's on paper, man. I'm so old school, it's ridiculous. And the CEO, Sky, he makes fun of me like constantly, bro. So he keeps telling me I got to come into the new age, man. So.
You see, the only difference is I color coded my shit to be a nerd.
Right.
Well, that was, in fact, what's funny is the very first episode. Back then, I would record them. You know, like in the beginning, I would record them. I'd add a few things to them, and I still love doing that. But people just love the live stuff, and it's quite frankly, it's easier and it's more fun and it's more engaging. But like for the first 2 or 3 episodes, the way that I would do it was put them on note cards and just kind of flip through the cards. And I remember doing it the first time, and I was like, Jesus, this feels like Johnny Carson, because that's the first time I ever saw that.
See, bro.
What is that?
I use different colored pens.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So the ink is different. White paper, different color. You're still color coding it though.
See, I just use this. I'm good. It's good. If I remember it, you're good.
Dirty, you made it happen, dude. I gotta do the first dab of the night, brother. So, hey, you know what? Here, I'm gonna put you on the spot, and if you don't want to answer, Dirty, that's fine. But let me ask you this, because I'm just curious. Did you smoke before you went to military, or was smoking something that happened after the military due to all the shit that you deal with?
Well, let me tell you something like this. Give away my age really quick.
Uh-oh. You're going to give it away?
Yeah. Don't let this baldness fool you, man. I got to let it go. So, yeah, I joined the military in 1996. So back then it was illegal and everything. I was smoking throughout high school, the whole 9 yards. So but back then,
how old were you when you started? Since you did smoke before?
I think I started with my cousins. Probably like when I was 14 years old, when I was gangbanging.
Yep.
So gangbanging, tagging, all that stuff in Southeast San Diego.
Diego.
Yeah. So I joined out of there in 1996, and then after service and everything, with everything the VA was giving me for my meds and all that stuff, I started slowly going to smoke weed. But I was smoking weed to go out and have fun. And then I realized that, I smoke weed to do my laundry, to go out in public now. I'm going out to Disneyland now. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm not, I don't have that barrier, that fight or flight, stance up. So, but yeah,
So-
I smoke it for medicinal purposes now, pretty much.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I know you do now. That's why I was curious if it started out like most of us. I mean, let me just say this: the first time that I got high and felt getting high, and I told this story to fucking Duck over there the other night, was in the back. Funny enough, we were both in the back of a very similar type car. His was Mustang, my Capri, same car though. But yeah, my thought was not let me heal myself and see what kind. I wanted to get high. I wanted to get blasted. You know what I'm saying? Like I still do, but those days are gone.
And when the first time I smoked out, man, you know that Dave Chappelle movie? What's that Dave Chappelle movie?
Half baked.
Half baked. That was me in the fucking 7-Eleven, bro. That fucking little hot dog grew like this big. I fucking drenched that shit so much with nacho cheese and cut it up with a fork and knife. That was like the best hot dog, 7-Eleven hot dog with 7-Up and fucking cherry Coke. All that suicide shit, man. When you're back in the day, walking down the street with a fat ass hot dog, a Slurpee cup, all suicide and soda and shit, and a parka jacket on, rain all red.
Hey, does anybody know what a suicide is in today's society? That's all.
I don't think they do, dude. I don't think they do.
I really don't think they do.
I don't think so. I don't know.
There we go. Hey, thank you, Strange Bird. Go Vets. I happen to know for a fact that Strange Bird has some vets in her family as well. So,
and I would get more active in the side chat, but I'm not set up to do it. So,
well, we're just gonna have to fix that because if anybody's been paying attention, and I know Dirty, you might not be able to make it every time, and even you might not be able to make it every time. But we're gonna have we're gonna come up with a schedule, and that way, I figure if I get the schedule to you guys, just on a side note, just since we're talking about, if I can give you, my tentative schedule for at least 2, maybe even 4 weeks in advance, then you can pick the days that you want to fit in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's funny though, you talked about going in and grabbing those hot dogs, man. I can remember when I was 19, we would walk in. It was always the same, like one of 3 convenience stores around town. Now, this was only for a short time when I was up in that Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol area that I've told you about. I don't know if y'all know where that is, but that's like a tip of Eastern Tennessee, basically. I don't know about y'all, man, but it was literally one of the worst things every time to walk in. High, I was no problem with. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I know that we're talking about cannabis, but we're also talking about just war stories. I didn't have a problem. I had already been getting high for 5 years, so I had no problem walking in and talking to anybody, high as hell. But inevitably, it would always be that I was tripping on. Typically, back in this day and age, it was almost always acid. It didn't do a whole lot of mushrooms back when I was younger. But yeah, I would always be tripping. And you go into that convenience store, and I swear to God, man, I can't tell you how many times this happened. You're gonna think that you're gonna think I'm bullshitting that it did happen only once, but on at least 3 or 4 occasions, while I'm in there tripping, barely getting through to the damn cashier, a fucking cop comes in, and I literally every time I'm like, that's it, man. I'm gonna fucking go to jail right now because I'm tripping nuts.
It's a wrap.
With this. Amazingly so, it didn't. Oops, I'm sorry, man.
And without question that he followed you in there specifically.
Oh, of course. At the time, I was like, "This
Absolutely,
motherfucker
because
followed me." He's probably been sitting out there watching me get my slushy.
I got my weed from the 7-Eleven guy. That was the store, man, so I was good.
Yeah, but see, the 7-Eleven guy, he was never the one I was worried about. Like I would sit and bullshit with them. I didn't get weed from them, but I promise you this: I got a few of those dudes high and got a few of those dudes drugs over the years. But funny enough, they would end up looking right at me too, like, "You gonna be able to handle this shit, bro? You see who just walked in the door, right?" Days of being young, man. That's all I can say.
That's when you had to switch your breathing from automatic to manual.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you what, it is in those moments when all of a sudden you are so aware of every dumb little thing that you do that you might think is a dumb little thing to other people, right? That those
Yeah.
giveaways, right? All of a sudden, everything you do is a fucking tail, and you're like, I mean, you try to be normal, it does not.
You try to smell your own breath.
Like, you're knocking shit over everywhere. Like it's like
Yeah.
the more you focus on don't do this, the more you do
The
it.
harder it
High school
becomes,
days.
brother. The harder it becomes. So you know what? Well, let's do this since we're telling stories. Duck, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You told me the first time that you got high, but I know, brother, that you have. It's not that you have only been high one time. So I'm gonna put you on the spot and see if your non-stoner memory can remember the second time that you actually got really lit.
Well, the thing is, man, anytime I smoke, I get really lit. Just because I never
Okay, well, let me ask you this. I'll flip it then. When's the last time that you actually got really lit on marijuana? When's the last time? Tell us about that one.
I had to have been like 19 years old, man.
Are you kidding? You literally have not smoked in 30.
Well, it's not that I haven't smoked, man, but these two experiences, my first one and my second one, were left such an impressionable mark on me that from that point forward, man, I was scared to death of it. Absolutely terrified. And every time from that point after, anytime I tried, man, like I'd go at it so delicately. Like if somebody would pass me a joint, I'd just be like, all right, man, thanks. And give it right back. And I've never enjoyed the taste of it, to be honest with you. The taste just is something that,
Thanks, RL.
It's kind of like drinking your first beer. You know, beer's an acquired taste. Nobody drinks their first beer and they're like, man, beer's the best thing in the world, right? Nobody smokes their first cigarette and they're like, God, I'm going to smoke cigarettes every fucking day of my life from here on out. It's
Right.
kind of like an acquired taste.
Oh, yeah, that. I definitely agree. And I'll just interrupt. Did I ever tell you or share? I don't think I've shared ever yet. I dipped for 2.5 years. I know I did because in my very first one, where I talk about the first time I actually smoked pot with my mom, I don't know if y'all saw that, but because I was dipping at the time, right, I actually transported four rolled joints, and I put them in my long cut skull mint can, but I cleaned it. I mean, like there was no gross, but dude, all they did, it was like smoking menthol marijuana because they were in there by the time I put them in, or by the time I took them out, I should say, they had been in there well over 24 hours. I mean, well over 20, maybe even like 2 days, because I put them in there and left them in there, put it in the bag, and then I would take a bus to go see my mom. She was in Atlanta, and I was in just outside Columbia. Or Lexington, technically speaking, if you guys know the area. Yeah, you guys know South Carolina at all?
No.
I know it a little bit. I know.
Yeah, you know it by name. Probably, I bet you anything. I bet y'all know this. Myrtle fucking Beach, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what South Carolina has, if it matters. I mean, it has a lot more than that, you know, just between you, me, and the stars, but nobody knows. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll let you believe that. Everything I hear about there outside of Myrtle Beach is no bueno, man. So,
well, I will tell you this: Charleston, one of the coolest places that you can ever go and find some of the coolest shit. And when I say coolest shit, you got sellers from all over. It's one of those like world markets, funny enough, and it's literally called the Market in downtown Charleston. And that place is believe it or not, man, you can find some really cool shit. And it's actually, yeah, boring there. That's fucking crazy. And I blasted past this one, but I think looks like RL here clearly likes Thursday nights, and I'm thinking that might be good. And I just have a weird schedule, dude. I usually go live for me on the odd days of the week. So whatever, you know, like if it's the 7th, 9th, whatever. So we'll come back to that. But anyway, yeah. What was I just talking about, Doug? I actually have somebody I can ask that to. What was I just talking about?
you were talking about putting your joints in your dip can and them tasting like menthol.
Well, yeah, but
I was talking about how I couldn't stand the taste of weed.
Yeah, and you know what? That's why I interrupted the fuck out of you. So I'm going to go back to smoking my weed, and you were going to tell us about the experience at 19 years old. That's where we were. Thank you, sir.
So Again, like I told you before, I used to DJ a lot. I used to be able to get in the nightclubs, all of that stuff. This was it was like a Thursday night or something, so I wasn't DJing or anything like that because I only DJ'd Friday, Saturday night, and was going to like a pub versus a nightclub. It was kind of it was a really known for its pizza, but it was a nice pub as well. And a buddy of mine worked there. He actually worked in the kitchen, so I would go in through the back door, hang out with him, eat some pizza, go on the other side, sit at the bar, get a bunch of free drinks the whole time I was sitting there. Well, this night he'd just gotten, because he smoked all the time, right? And, you know, like I told you, I've always hung around with people that smoke, man. And he'd just gotten some new shit that he was all excited about, man. And he kept asking me, well, let's run out back and burn one. I'm like, bet, you know. So I'd go out back with him. And this was before, like I said, you know, this is my second time. So this is the one that really embedded in my brain that this ain't working.
This is the one that made you go white when you think about it, right?
Yeah, man. It's like this ain't working out for me at all, man. So we'd go out and we'd burn one, man. And then I'd go back inside and have a couple more drinks. And next thing I know, there'd be like a small pizza in front of me. And I'd be like, rah, 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 just garble that thing up, man. And then I'd look up and he'd be standing at the door that goes back to the kitchen. Like, come on, man, come on. I'd be like, all right, man. So we'd go back in the bag and we'd burn another one. And that pattern repeated all night long, man. Well,
man after my own heart, let me just say, dude.
Well, I mean, mind you, I'm feeling more than wonderful when they're shutting the place down, man. And when they're shutting the place down, you know, the bouncers are moving everybody to the door and everybody's wondering why I'm still sitting in the chair and all that shit. And they're like, he's good, leave him alone, man. And, you know, so my buddy comes from out back now. He's finished up all the shit he had to do. And now it's like he and I are just sitting there at the bar. The owner of the place is there. And now my buddy's just like rolling them up. And it's like going from here to here to here to here. And we're just going and going. And finally, I'm like, bro, man, I'm like, I think we need to get out of here, man, and get home. Mind you, I'm 19 years old. At this time, I'm still living at home with the folks. But
oh, hell yeah.
We were going to crash at his place. He still lived at home with his folks, man. And we were going to crash at his place. I was driving, of course, as always, because he got a ride in. And so we get in the car. Granted, he only lived less than a half a mile away from the joint, right? Go out onto the main road. And by main road, it's a 4-lane road that nobody's on. Go about the equivalent of 4 city blocks and turn into his neighborhood. And one of those neighborhoods that's got 1,000 streets in it and you can get lost in. Right. But I knew the way pretty good and got to the last turn, man. And it was like that aha moment. And like, thank God, I knew all I had to do was take a left and go just a couple more houses. And that's where he was. And I looked over at him and he was out, man. I mean, he was just out. So I took that moment. I'm like, because this whole ride, I've been like, just like everything like this the whole way. I'm like, God damn, I'm fucking doing 1,000 miles per hour, bro. And I look at the speedometer and it says like 18, you know, that type of deal. And I'm freaking out the whole way home. And we get to that stop sign and that's like my release. I'm like, we made it, man. I could literally see the cat's house, man. It's like the house is right fucking there, dude. I got like 4 driveways. All I got to do is make sure I make it in the driveway, and then wake this cat up, and we're good to go, man. And I kind of eased back.
Easy.
Fuck, man. I can't believe I made it, dude. Man. Look over at him. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to wake this fucker up, man. Then I wake up like this. I let go of the gas at that stop sign. Ease very gently into the front yard of the home that was directly in front of that street. And the guy that lived there's tapping on my window. I'm like, oh. I'm like, we were so close, man.
That's
so I roll
crazy.
the window down and he's like, what are you doing in my fucking front yard, kid? I'm like, sir, I apologize. Absolutely nothing. I was like, I was bringing my buddy home last night, man. I was like, it's a horrible story. I apologize. I eased myself out, go over, park in his place, drop him off. Didn't even stay because this time it's daylight outside. It's not dark anymore. It's daylight. and drop him off. I'm like, bro, just get out, man. I drop him off and I'm like, I'm going to my, he's like, you coming in? I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not parking my car here for your neighbor to walk down and be telling your dad this whole story. And
yeah.
I get all this bullshit, man. I'm like, I'm out, bro. I'm going to the house, man. So I backed out and went home. My dad, he was already up, man. He's the type of guy that, got up in the morning, woke the rooster up and told him to go fucking crow. He was already up and I kind of staggered in. He's like, damn, kid, you're home early. I'm like, yeah, Pop, man. I said, I just didn't sleep well there. I want to just get my own bed, go to sleep, man. Went in, shut the door. Yeah. I'm like, I'm done, dude. I'm done.
You got. I will say you got lucky on that one because you came in on the morning. That's perfect. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it worked out perfect with the exception of the dude tapping on the fucking window, man. That was the only wrong thing that happened there. But I mean, I never got any shit from his dad or anything. I mean, I don't think I ever went back over to the kid's house, man, to be honest with you.
I don't blame you.
I really don't think I did. But
as you tell that dude, knowing your age, the first thing that pops into my mind that I think about is that scene in Dazed and Confused when the old man chases him down after they're playing mailbox baseball.
Oh,
and he's got the gun, you know, and I mean, dude, no kid's going to wait around for you to call the cops. Even if you do have a gun, they're going to run, man. That's what we do, especially at that age. I don't blame you. I wouldn't have stuck around to wait and see what happens. Not me.
But since then, I've tried edibles, man. I've tried, like I told you, man, I desperately would love
to be able to have the enjoyment of it. Right.
Because everybody around me enjoys it so much. And I watch
I bet you probably want it even for the medical at this point. Like it would do you a lot of.
Yeah.
I know you deal with shit just like all of us, dude. And there's no, I mean, it's unfortunate that, you know what I call it, the way I say it is some people are just literally allergic to it.
And I think that's me, man. And I know for like the CEO of our company, Sky, one thing he wanted me to say was like from the medical side of it, it literally has kept him from becoming an opiate addict because this is a gentleman that got medically discharged from the military. He made a jump and jump didn't go well. He ended up with a broken neck, a whole bunch of screwed up vertebrae and everything else. And when that happens, you're looking forward to a life of opiates, really, to help you deal with the pain that you go through every day. And he just wasn't going to be that cat that got strung out on opiates. And, you know, that leads to the heroin and everything else. We know that story. We've watched enough people around us go through that process. And
yes, we have.
So he went with really dove heavily into the different strands of medical marijuana and everything else, and found what fit for him, man. And that's what that's literally considered his medicine now. And I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate to this day for it to be legalized throughout all of the United States. It's ridiculous that it's not, but you know, it is what it is. The government's got to do their thing.
Sorry, I meant to mute me instead of taking you out of the screen. No, I think that's a perfect time to. I'm sitting here coughing, so I'm trying not to. Hold on, there it is. It's just going to happen. But I didn't want to kill y'all's ears doing so. I think that's a perfect time because, Medic, I know you wanted to talk some about the medical side. I know we already talked a little bit, but I know you wanted to say more than that. So if you go ahead and want to have the floor now, I'll let you have it, and you kind of, because I'm sure after what he just said there, you've got some stuff you'd like to add.
Yeah, sure. So a little history about me. So I joined the military in 1996. I got out. I joined at 17 years old. I got out 2020. So I retired after 24 years and 1 month. In that time period, I did 9 deployments. I've done numerous commands. I was also an operator instructor, high-risk instructor, one-on-one training, one instructor to student training, and done a couple of MU deployments as well. With that being said, if you think about that, I left the house at 17. I saw the world. My entire adulthood was in the military. The military raised me my entire adulthood. And more than 50% of my life has been in the military. So every deployment, everything I've seen that's outside of my comfort zone that I'm numb to now is some sort of fashion of a PTSD. With myself, I retired at 100% PNT. With that is PTSD and combat PTSD, combat traumatic brain injury at 70%. My socials is Facebook and Instagram is mr.jodymedic, and on my Facebook one, it shows my VA rating and what I was rated for.
Right.
So what I was going into is when I retired, I was stacked on a lot of medicines. We call it the margarita mix, and got to go see. I'm sure all the vets out there go see Dr. Feels Good, play the role, the whole 9 yards. And with the medicines that they were giving me and everything else, I started getting the irritable bowel syndrome. And I got to take more medicine for that.
Right. That's a whole. Now you're taking medicines to fucking cover the medicines. I've heard that story
Exactly.
too many fucking times.
So with that being said, after retirement, I was sleepwalking a lot. Just the shift in pace of transitioning from active duty life to civilian life. More in that mood of I'm more pissed off that I can't sleep, and then I wake up because I'm pissed off when I wake up because I woke up.
Right.
It's just the rest of the day was that with that. So I got really tired of the medicines and everything else. I started looking into growing. Found this really awesome place, discord.gg urban growers. I'm one of the members on there, one of the high members on there if there's a hierarchy or anything, but it's just a community of Twitch growers where a majority of them are military, and there's a lot of civilians in there, even a lot of the admin in there, like Joe. I'll give a shout out to Joe Dirt, Sinful, King, and all of them. They're really good people, and they stream their grows and they answer questions about their grows.
Can you throw that Discord? Can you type that into the public comment for me, bro? That Discord. Do you remember
one of the guys? Yeah, I'm on an iPad. So
you can. Okay, I got you. I will. I'll end up putting it on there, and I'm going to add it just so you know. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just want people to be able to see it and find it. I'll get it from you later, and I'll add it to the description. Keep going, sir.
Yeah, and then we do sessions on there, in the VC chat, just hanging out, people talking about their day, and it's just a bunch of guys that growing, growing cannabis. So I found them and started growing a lot. So coming back to my time in service, that's a pretty long time that I served. I made up the hierarchy of the ranks pretty well. I've, one of my best experiences was being a chief. I love being a chief, more than anything else. And then having that responsibility and that threshold, where you got to answer for one of your guys 24 hours a day. Why did, Corporal Timmy do this? On Friday, did any of your chiefs say, give an alcohol brief, the whole 9 yards, about baby them? And you're in a high anxiety moment throughout, pretty much the entire time you're active duty chief.
Right.
I'm not complaining about the responsibility. We
it is what it is. No, I get it. You knew what, obviously you knew what it was. You stayed in, if I'm getting it right, 24 years, right? 24 years, yeah.
So, it's something we willingly accept, but shifting from that mode into, waking up the next day and nothing,
right.
You don't have that, you go through a certain anxiety. So after, I got really, really high the very first night I got out. I got my D214, and then I got so high I passed out. I picked the wrong thing, I guess. But I'll do that. I found out what fucking real indica means.
Right.
And so once I started growing my own, taking it from seed to harvest, it's a whole different story when you take on your own gardening and everything else.
Right. You really know exactly. You start to understand. I'll pull it back off of you now. Yeah. You really, that's when you start to understand truly just how fascinating this plant is. There's two categories, but then it goes far beyond that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the crossbreeding that we've learned to do and the hybrids and all the things that we've learned to do, we've essentially done with that plant what we write about. In my opinion, we've done with that plant what we write about in movies. And what I mean by that is we've learn to get rid of what we don't want and put more of what we do want in there, you know, so that certain people have this, certain people have this, certain people have this, you know?
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you this, all right, man. Dirty is an American badass, bro. All right.
Dude, I
I'm
know.
not pulling any punches. I'm not trying to smooth anything over. I'm not trying to kiss his ass. I'm just being real. He's an American badass, right? I've heard the stories. I know everything he's done. Not everything. I've known enough of the things that he's done, right? And he and I have these talks every once in a while, bro. Every once in a while, he's going up into the woods, going backpacking, going for a little camp, whatever, man, a little overnight, what have you. And at one point, I think he threw out, he's like, man, if we ever meet up, you're gonna have to go camp. We'll have to go camping together, or something like that, bro. And I'm like, dude, sounds great, but here's the deal, man. All right, here's the deal with the sleepwalking. If you wake up in the middle of the night and I hear you roaming around my tent, and I open up my tent and I look out and you're walking around, man, I'm not gonna be the cat to fucking wake you up. I don't mean to be rude, but I am not gonna be the guy that gives you the look. Dirty, hey, Dirty, wake up, man. Dirty.
You don't wake up any sleepwalker,
but having it, man, because I know at that moment, and he's tried to ease me on it. He's like, nah, man, when I wake up, it's no big deal or whatever. But bro, when you wake up in the middle of the friggin' woods, darker than midnight, and some dude just shaking you or trying to wake you up, man, I'm not ready for what could click in at that moment, man. I'm not ready for it. And I'm not ready.
The story was that one of the stress relievers that I do that I try to get away is I disperse count. You know,
I'm sorry, say that again. I'm sorry, say it again, Dirty.
Disperse count.
Okay.
Which is like I have a Jeep, so I'll take my Jeep out, you know, out on the mountains, something like that, off track, and I have a service dog too. Take my service dog and tent it out right next to the Jeep. You know, smoke some homegrown stuff, and then call it a night under the stars. It's a huge relief sometimes, you know. And so when I was telling them one story, I think we were in one of the spaces, and one of the issues I had that, you know, I loved about indica was that a couple of times my wife caught me sleepwalking or found me like underneath the pool table down on the first floor or halfway out of the backyard, and the doorway, the door alarm was going back and forth, and she looked on the video, and I was clearing each room, you know, until I actually fell asleep somewhere, you know, so... the Ambien wasn't working. I was sleepwalking on that shit. So I didn't want to go back to drinking or anything else. So I went to the nearest dispensary. I said, give me your strongest indica. They gave me some wedding cake, half slashed. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like they must.
So it wasn't even a full indica, right? It was a hybrid.
Yeah, it was something, man. It made me feel good. And then I passed out, and ever since I started, even just little microdosing of indica at nighttime, you know. I passed out. I'm good.
So do you do, here's a quick question for you, and I'll just keep it on you. Do you literally, depending on your mood, because I mean, I know, you know, I'm different, and I'll get into that, but my tolerance is stupid. Yeah. Because I didn't take 24 years off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't. Let's just put it that way,
your podcast. You're a badass too, bro.
I'm no fucking badass. What I'll tell you I am is I wanted to go out and experience as much as I fucking could, Dirty. That's all I can tell you. And I mean, I was that close. I don't know if you've seen that, but at 34, man, I almost did it, but my kids kept me from doing it because I didn't want to lose the opportunity to get custody of them. Long story.
Yeah.
But my two questions for you. I have two. One's on alcohol, so I'll ask the weed question first. It already sounds like you literally probably have not just one indica or one sativa, but you have certain probably hybrids as well as indicas and sativas for what you know is your mood and where you're trying to go at that exact moment. Is that the reality?
Yeah. One of the hardest things for me is something that probably all the vets face as well is that first argument in the morning. All right. Whether you're here, you're there, like anyone could ask me, hey, when's the last time you deployed? When was the last time you're BOG? When's the last time, you know, you're in Afghanistan? When was this? When was that? And my answer was like fucking probably 15 minutes ago, man. Probably last night. You know, you're always going back and forth. So that first argument in the morning that we're trying to win with the military vet help is taking 22-0. And that's letting the vets know that it just takes that 1%, that 1% in the morning to realize that you do have a reason to put your feet on the ground and to get up and do something. I have a garden. I got responsibilities. I got to face the day today. It just takes that 1%. And some vets don't realize it and they just don't go through it, or they take the wrong way. So it's just how I feel that morning, you know. If I'm good when I get over that morning, take that 1%, you know, usually lately it's been, you know, really good. You know, I'll come down. I always have a routine. I have a wake and bake in the morning. If it's a good morning, I know I have things to do. I'll smoke some sunshine, sativa, microdose that with some of my coffee. I'm good. You know, I'm retired. I got a garden to tend to. I got responsibilities here. I have meetings I talk to with vets that are still active and active duty members, and so vets that are retired. I still keep in touch with some of the strongest members of my chief specs. It's still a network. You know, I don't justify or judge. I'm not active duty. You know, they're the ones that are out there. They're the ones that we need to support and push out there and make sure that they come home and they realize that we're thankful that they went there and made a difference. Even the guy that's even changing the little deck drain on the ground, or the guy that's carrying the ammo, 7.62,
Every single one's
trying
part
to
of the
back
team.
up. Exactly.
Yep.
You know, they all go through their own thing. You know, you're taking a kid 17 years old that doesn't know anything, that wanted to join the military because his dad was beating him and he's in a bad household. No one else is going to take him. He didn't want to go to the streets. The military took him. We take him and we ship him overseas and expect him to act like an ambassador of the United States at 17 years old.
Right.
You tell him that realize what you see is what you see. And sometimes back then, you know, there was, you know, mafias back then in the military. There was fucking homeboys. There was, you know, cliques. There was, you know, cowboys. There was all these different cliques, man. You didn't know who to trust when you're coming up. The only thing that you could do, even right now, is tell yourself who you are and stick with that. And when you figure out who you are, exactly, when you figure out who you are and you make that 1% in the morning, you decide to live your life that day. I'm not asking for a week. I'm not asking for that night. I'm just saying make that 1% and push. And then you can decide. Well, I decide what type of shit I want to smoke, you know. But I don't like smoking indicas during the daytime just because I feel like I can't function afterwards.
Right.
Good
I know a
sativa
lot of
or
people like
whatnot.
that.
Yeah, a lot of sativa, good sativa. I'm good to function afterwards, and it gets, you know, gets that vibe.
You said in the mornings, you said something about microdose. Do you use tinctures? Do you ever use a tincture, or have you ever tried those, like in your coffee or anything? You know what I'm talking about?
No,
like the oil.
You know,
or do you just, you're talking about microdose, like just a couple of hits?
Yeah, just a couple of hits.
Okay, I was just curious.
Hey, if I could, Spirit, I'm going to piggyback off him real quick, man. I'm
going to put the camera on you. Yeah, and not only that, but we got someone calling for you here, man. You got a homeboy here, man. He's like, where the hell's the duck?
That's my guy, James, man.
That's why just so you know, I put just so you know, NFT, I put him up there for a minute so you could see that he was here, man. We just whenever when either one of them are talking, I just try to focus in on them, brother.
Yeah, James is a completely awesome cat, man. A wicked cool guy. But to piggyback off of what Dirty was saying, man. And again, I'm not going to try and bring this space down, but you know, we're here for a purpose. We're here for a reason, and in the process of that, sometimes you got to tell the ugly truth, right? In the 14-year time period from the beginning of the Iraqi war, and I've given this figure out on a lot of my Twitter spaces before, but every time I say it, it just blows my mind to speak of it. But from the beginning of the Iraqi war up to and all the way through the Afghanistan war, in that 14-year time period, a total of 6,855 servicemen died while in action. In other words, while they were fighting that war, 6,855 servicemen died active duty. Okay. Now
6,855. Is that what you said?
That's correct. Yes, sir. During that exact same 14-year time period, over 73,000 veterans stateside died by suicide. Look at the difference in that number. Okay. And we got to ask ourselves, why is that happening? That's what Military Vet Help's doing. We're researching, we're finding out the reason behind it. We're trying to solve those issues. We're trying to implement new things that haven't been there yet. We're trying to work on the housing for the homeless veterans and everything else. But also I wanted to say, die by suicide, because when I first
Thank
got
you.
into this,
That's how I thank you. I knew you were. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that means a great deal to say it. There's two ways to say that. To me, there's only one way.
correct.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not going to piss on your head and try and convince you it's raining. I'm not going to lie to you here. Originally, that's how I used to say it, right? Because I didn't know any better. I wasn't educated. But when it was brought to me, like, no, they don't. Not everyone commits suicide, right? Here's the thing, right? For a perfect example, the CEO Sky, broken neck, all kinds of screwed up vertebrae, tons of pain every single day. Thankfully, he took the medical marijuana route, living a great life. Well, I won't say a great life. He still deals with a lot of pain, but
he's living life, though. He's able to live life.
Correct. Now, let's act like that didn't happen.
Right.
Let's say they pump him full of opiates, and he's got to take those opiates every day. And like Dirty mentioned earlier, the Ambien to go to sleep. What if he has issues going to sleep at night too? Now he's pumping himself full of hydrocodones and all of that, and now he's putting Ambien on top of it. What's happening is you're creating a chemical imbalance in your brain that your brain's just not ready or prepared for, and it could put you into obviously a different train of thought. It could definitely push you into a depression. It could also put you into a place to almost a slight schizophrenia, where you're worried about the people around you and everything else.
Can I add that, just from somebody who never even saw any kind of wartime, it made me extremely irritable. Now, I can't imagine becoming that irritable if I can't imagine what that would do to me if I was dealing with PTSD from war.
Absolutely.
Where I might go.
Absolutely. And there's two reasons that to this day, I stay away from pain medication. Okay. Even I haven't told you a story about my ankle or any of that, but I still refuse to take any prescribed pain medication. And the reason being is, one, I'm a total prick when I come off of it the next day. You're not going to want to be around me, no matter how much I love you, how much I appreciate you, how much I care about you. I'm a total prick, and I know it, and it's something that I can't control. It's just coming off of that makes me that type of an asshole. And the other thing is, I've spent 7 years with a heroin addict that was became a heroin addict due to opiates. And I spent pretty much everything that I had trying to help this individual and heal them. And they ended up overdosing and dying. But nonetheless, that's what this story about. The story is about the fact that barbiturates and pain medications and things of that nature can alter your reality on what's really happening around you, right? So you're not really, all you're doing is ignoring the actual problem, right? You're not really treating the problem. You're just putting a cloak over it and hoping that nobody notices. There's a deeper problem, and there's a better way to handle it too. But a lot of these people, when we look at the research, and people have been able to, because there are vast companies out there that do research in regards to veteran suicide to try and help eradicate it as well. By no means are we the only one out there. And a lot of times they're finding out in some of these suicides, they're talking to their family and they're like, man, Bob, Joe, Tom, whomever it may be, after they put him on the pain meds to deal with what happened while he was in the military, he became a different person. I mean, granted, he was a little different when he came home, without question, because, that's going to happen. But after that happened, he totally became a different person. We didn't know him anymore, right? We couldn't talk to him anymore. We couldn't relate to him. He was always going off on his own. Things just kept going downhill and downhill and downhill. And next thing we know, we found him in the garage hanging from the fucking ceiling. Okay. And that's not somebody who chose to do that. That's somebody that, through no choice of theirs, they were put on something. They were ignored. They weren't treated the way they should have been treated. They weren't cared for the way they should have been cared for. They were just pushed aside and gave something and said, take this and be fucking fine.
Right. And as you said,
that just doesn't happen with veterans, right? That happens with everybody that gets into the pain medicine world. So, I mean, if there was a sheet that was reported that printed out just by some weird force every time somebody died, and it showed the exact costs,
that would be awesome.
Cause and everything else, and could have that research at our fingertips, we would see that exactly how many lives we lose due to
Yep.
overdoses on heroin that actually was due to pain medication leading in there. Because once they take you off of it, you're addicted to it. Or
Well,
if your insurance runs out, you can't afford to pay for it. Heroin's cheaper than pain meds, man.
if I may, and I think I don't know if I've had a lot of conversations lately, so forgive me if I have already told you this, but I think it's still pertinent to the show. And I'm not going to tell any of the stories. This is not my time. What I will say just real quick is that not only did I deal with this, but I dealt with it twice. I dealt with it once and as a drug dealer. And I got hooked to, and I think I did tell you about this, Dilaudids. They were known as K4s back in the 90s, which is nothing more than it's supposedly a synthetic, but it's still just another form of heroin, right? Like all these others. And then all the back issues, and I know I told you about this, all the back issues, I was prescribed Vicodin. And the point that I was going to make is that what I was prescribed for a month lasted me typically not even 72 fucking hours by the time I was balls deep. So that means for 27 days, where do you think I got my drugs? Where do you think I got my medicine that I needed to get through the day at that point? And by that time, what I mean by the day, I had to just take the shit. I would fucking snort whatever I could get my hands on just to get the fuck out of bed. Because otherwise I didn't want to get out of bed. And I hated my family.
Well, hey,
that was just 2012, brother.
I drug us down here. I'm going to drug us out of this pit, right?
Dude, let me just say, when you ever hear tears coming from the spirit now or passion, it's because it's a fucking new day, man. Every day is a fucking better day. Every day is a refreshing day. It's why I'm doing these reads, because I mean, dude, if I've said it before, if I only help one person, so if in this case, if we only help one vet, I feel like then we helped. Period. It's another vet that was saved. You know what I mean? I know I'm never going to save all the vets or all the people or anybody, but the whole point is to fucking try. The whole point is to share your story so that they understand there's, you don't have to go to war to go down that fucking hole. And it is a nasty fucking hole. It takes everything away from you. And I'll tell that story soon, but it takes everything. I told you I've lost everything 3 times. That's not fucking bullshit.
Well, one thing you and I constantly agree on is, without the bad, you wouldn't greatly appreciate the good, right, brother? So I'm not trying to down to space, bring it down, man. I love this space. I love the vibe that's on here, man, and I love being a part of it. But I have to make sure that everybody understands the ugly, so that they get a better understanding of exactly how beautiful it is when you have that one guy that reaches out to you that says, "Man,
it makes a difference."
Yeah, exactly.
When somebody reaches out, one connection, man, just one connection.
Right. I mean,
after you go, I'm sorry, I want to share something after you say it, or if you can remember where you are. There's something I want to share when you will let me, please.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say with the Twitter spaces that we do, right? Some of the comments that I've gotten in my DMs after it, right, where veterans have come in. They finally, and mind you, that they come in and they listen for a long time, man, because veterans don't want to speak to anybody else but other veterans about what they're dealing with and what they're going through. It's kind of
because they're shunned by so many people, man. And
it's kind of a code, man, because it's like you don't understand what we went through, and it's like it's true. I get it by all means. I wasn't there. I don't get it. Okay, but after a while, after they listen. And after they hear these stories and they see the support that these individuals are getting from the community that's there, and after they see that they're not being chastised for showing what was taught to them from childhood as a weakness, right? Because what happened when you were a child and you started to get upset, and you started to cry, you probably had the same dad I did that said, "Boy, shut the fuck up, I'm
stop crying.
Cry about.
You're not a little girl.
I'll give you something to cry about if you keep
I'll give you something to cry about, or stop crying. You're not a little girl." I mean, it was one or the other.
So we learned. What did we learn? We learned to keep it inside. We learned we're not allowed to let that out, right? And now, let's fast forward. First day of boot camp, right? You step off. You got a drill sergeant right in your face yelling at you, man, right? And You can't say, "Excuse me, can I go to the bathroom?" You want to go to the bathroom? I don't give a fuck. You want to go to the bathroom? Piss your pants, boy. You know, that's how it is, son. Get used to it. So you had to keep burying this stuff. And honestly, that's part of what made you tough. That's what made you that trained you in your mind to be able to overcome things that the civilian on the street's not capable of overcoming. But here's the thing: when you get out, there's no switch that turns that back on. There's no switch that turns on that empathy and that sympathy. And there's no switch that says, "Hey, man, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to tell people that I'm dealing with things." No, because I was trained if I tell people that, then I'm a punk, I'm a mark, I'm a bitch, and what have you. But now they're in this Discord, not Discord, but this spaces, and they're listening, and they're hearing other people hear their story. They're hearing other veterans tell them that they love them, and that they're so happy that they were brave enough to tell their story. Because the first thing you can do if you want to help somebody is tell your story. That makes you vulnerable to them and shows them that you're vulnerable, so they can be vulnerable as well, right?
We've had the talk. I mean, I know I didn't start out with veterans, and that's
sorry, Dirty, man.
But
Dirty's down there going, "Damn it, Duck, you always fucking do this."
But I mean, you know, dude, what what did I tell you? You know some of Spirit's, you know, master plan, and the first way that you build anything, in my opinion, in this world, is you put it all out there, and if you can, because if people can relate to you, then they understand that they're not the only one. It doesn't matter what that fucking relation is. Can y'all hear me, or am I muted?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, it's from a different perspective. A lot of the military, I mean, it got to the point a couple of years ago when I was active duty. It was, if you can't deploy, you're not going to stay in. So if you can't deploy, they were going to discharge you. Doesn't matter if you fulfilled your contract or not. And there's a lot of people that were abusing it, and there's a lot of people that end up getting out. It was a high risk thing. If you couldn't function in the military, you're all like, take someone that's been in for 10 years and they come out with that new rule. You know, if you can't deploy, you know, and he's on his last limb, he's banking on trying to ride out the last 10 years to retirement. You know, now he has to look somewhere else and invest in 10 years, and all the things he's going to get the sovereign's pay. You know, so a lot of service members on their defense don't speak about it, or like, if we're go fast or we're ready to go, or, you know, we're already at a mission brief, you know, shit happens overnight before we go out for an op the next day. I'm not, you know, I'm looking in your eye. You're good. I'm going to take your word on it.
Right.
If you don't make this mission, you ain't deploying. I need the M rating checked in the box and said, you know how to do this. You know, I'm the doc. You can't do this and you can't do it. You know, you get back. You know, ain't no one going to say they can't do it. No matter what. They're not going to say they can't do it. They're not going to say that they got an argument with their wife, or they slept on the street last night, or something else. So it's one of those things that, like, in the military, you know, especially on the forward deploy side and the high op tempo areas, you know, if you're not there, stable mind, at least actively, you know, it's you're not going to be able to keep your job. And some people, that's their job. That's their whole thing. That was my job, you know, 24 years. I didn't look at it in the career. I knew that at 17 years old, if I started this at 17, no matter what I did, as long as I could fog up a mirror, I can show up on time in a clean uniform and do what I need to do, I'm going to make it to my 20-year mark, 24-year mark, 26 years mark. I would have made it to 30 if I could, but I could not deploy. I had a TBI. They put me on limited duty. I lost 9 months of my enlistment. I was limited duty to a hospital, waiting orders for retirement discharge. So I couldn't fulfill my contract. So, but with me personally, you know, with my background and everything else, I grew up gangbanging. I grew up, you know, all this other stuff. I didn't start talking to anybody until like my 20-year mark. All these deployments at my 20-year mark, I think, you know, I've done 8 deployments at that time. I didn't talk to nobody. I rogered up. Yeah, let's go. Cool. Let's go. Another deployment, another surge. Cool. Let's go. You know, hurry up and wait. You know, BOG. Let's go. So with that high up tempo and everything, you know, it drains on you. Whether you're the lowest man at the top or you just qualified and got your, you know, your quals. You know, You got a lot of stuff on your shoulders that whether you're here or you're at home or you're deployed, you're constantly surrounded. You know, like I don't know how it is to explain to you. Like you're in a uniform and you have to be in a uniform, whether I have a beard or not, or my sleeves are rolled up or not.
Right. No.
Whatever country I'm into, everyone in that country knows I'm there. Everyone there knows what I represent, and everyone hates what I stand for.
Right. You
That type
stand
of
out like a
feeling.
sore thumb.
Yeah. So they know you're there, you know, and that's what you got to live with every day while you're over there, BOG. And you got to keep that wall up. You got to keep that wall up and keep your head on the platter. So when you come home, how do you digress? How do you reach out? Did it bother you? When you go to 4th of July, the fireworks don't even bother you no more. It just numbs it off. But yet, you're so numb to the PTSD that when you bite into a hot dog like I do, it takes that grit of dirt that's in the hot dog, you got instantly flew back to Afghanistan or someplace you deployed where everything you ate had dirt in there. Now, how do you cope with that?
I've never even thought of that, dude. I mean,
Exactly.
that's never even.
I've with counseling and being able to talk. The reason why I started counseling was I hit a really hard part of my life where my youngest son had his first open heart surgery. So at that point, I was like, this is too much. This is way too much for me right now, you know? So I actually saw counseling while I was active duty. And I see this Dr. Feelsgood every week on Tuesdays for the last 5-6 years now. So, you know, I'm able to talk. You know, I can't tell someone how to grab themselves out of the zone or when they go back. But I can say, well, how I cope and how I help myself.
Well, that's what it's about, dude. That's all you can.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, dude. I mean, and I'm not like you need to feel, dude. I've talked to you a couple times now and face to face, and you know what I wanted to say. It's the perfect time to say it because I don't know if you guys remember, but what I believe is that everything happens the way it's supposed to. Okay, and I truly believe that. I believe it all ends up falling together like puzzle pieces, and you know, when I say that, this all happened because, and I know you'll probably remember this, Dirty, but I ended up meeting a vet while my mom was in the hospital for an emergency situation, who was being mistreated, and I ended up tweeting about it because it pissed the shit out of me off, and I think I maybe had at the time. I mean, I was, and I'm not saying that it didn't matter, but I mean, I had very, very few followers at the time. This was early on. You were one of the yeah, you were one of the first ones, actually. And I know you remember that, but you were one of the first ones to follow me under 100. I didn't even have 100 motherfuckers when Dirty came on board and said, "Let me give this fucking SO420 motherfucker a chance." But I tweeted about that shit because it pissed me off, and I'm not going to tell the story. We can talk about that another time. It's not about me, but my whole point is because of that, I made that tweet. Dirty made a fucking comment on it, and then I ended up talking to him. I told him about my military, the past, and my family. And again, y'all can find out about that. This is not about me, but you know, easy enough. I've got more than 4 or 5 lineage that are servicemen. I was the black sheep. That's part of my story. That's why Dirty calls me a badass, because I went the other way. I became an underground drug dealer and decided that I was going to, you know, get to the point where I was moving 120 pounds and all kinds of other shit. But it was because of that, dude. All this is happening because of this. After Dirty and I ended up talking, I was like, hey, man, would you like to come on the show and share some of your stories? Having no idea whatsoever. I didn't know anything about military vet help. You remember that? I was just like, you want to come on here, man, and fucking, because I knew you had a fucking live channel. I started subscribing the moment that I met you. I don't know, you didn't even know it. I told you the other day. I was like, I didn't subscribe because I don't have any money, you know. But I followed you as soon as I found that live, and it's funny because I get notifications all the time about you. So, you know, but it all happened. I got some text coming up, but yeah, dude, it's just, to me, it goes with the show perfectly because this is all happening just the way it was supposed to. And I know we're going to make a difference. I know we are. It's going to, especially if we keep doing it, even if it's only once a month, you know, but I guarantee it's probably going to be more like at least every 2 weeks is what I'm thinking. That gives 26 episodes. That's a fucking season.
With military vet help, we also recognize that it's not just the active duty or the retiree that's going through PTSD. My father was active duty for 20 years. I grew up with him. I saw his PTSD, and a lot of his PTSD was on me. So I've experienced PTSD prior to even joining the military.
Right.
And with our spaces, it's open to the family members, anyone else that wants to speak out, whether they're active duty or not. It's one thing to speak out. No one's going to judge. It's one thing to actually just say it out loud, whether it only makes sense to you or not. Because you don't know how many times I zoned out on certain flashbacks on deployment, and I was physically there during the incident, but I got 20 different type of replays that I got through my head, and it's not part of the actual truth of what happened. But saying it out loud and going through the experience is a whole different story.
Changes it.
And it changes it. It leaves some type of stress. If it gets serious enough, there's a lot of people in there that'll point you in the right direction that can actually handle that. Like I said, I'm nowhere qualified as a psychiatrist, but I do speak on what I do to help myself.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are part of military vet help. I mean, it's become quite a large network. And I'm not bragging on this, but right after I met you, I don't know if you remember this or I think it was Duck, but I met another vet, and I thought that he started following me because of the announcement that you and Duck and I had made about doing this, right? So I was like, "Are you part of MVH?" That's all and he's like, "MVH with a question mark." I was like, "Oh, okay." I felt bad that I was like, "I don't know." And he ended up joining though. He joined later that day. He ended up joining the
no followers on Twitter, so all that stuff you gotta thank Duck, because Duck's the one that. I rarely go on Twitter, and
isn't that funny though? Because this only happened because of your Twitter account, dude. Because you and I hooked up. You see what I'm saying? Like it was you and I. I didn't know Duck from a hole in the duck. I never met him. You introduced all of these. It was that I don't know if you remember, but you ended up doing whether you remember or not, you ended up doing a tweet with everybody's name in there after you talked to it was 3 or 4. I guess it was Duck and I think Sky High, and there was I'm missing somebody I know because there was 4 names in there. 4 names in there. So there you go, Duck. That's another shout out to you from NFT.
And you see what Duck's doing when you phase out? He's like this on the phone. Hey,
man, dude. Oh man, are you?
Hey, talk to me in chat, guys. Talk to me.
Oh my God! I told him today before the show we were trying to talk, and I was like, I would finish something, and I literally could have gone like this before that motherfucker be like, yeah,
I got you.
And he only said yeah because he finally realized that I was no longer talking. You understand? That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
One thing about weed, sometimes you're just attentive to a conversation. Sometimes you're just not there at all.
Yeah, but see, he doesn't smoke. I told him because I'm just telling you, man, he acts like a smoker. He forgets like a smoker. He has the attention span of a smoker. I think I just figured it out right here. That's why the motherfucker can't smoke weed. He's permanently done like us. And he just doesn't even realize. You understand? He's just it was in his fucking chromosomes. Okay? That's how I see it.
Completely valid point. Completely. but also
there you go. I like it, NFT. I'm passing it back to you.
Also, I've told you I got wicked bad ADD, man. And if I'm listening to a story and my brain tells me, all right, we have the synopsis of what it is, it'll start being, it's like looking out the window and it's like, is that a rabbit over there, man? That's a pretty bunny, right? And I'm looking around and I will admittedly so, especially here in the past week, my phone, the Twitter,
you're blowing up again, man.
It's not me. It's military vet help, man. I mean, it's
good.
It's gotten to a place that is worthy of what it is, and it's going to go to a place that is
up.
I know is going to be really important. So I'm wicked excited about it. It's I'm not telling you anything new. If you're doing something that you fully believe in and you're putting everything that you have into it, the people around you are sacrificing for that, right? People that you're having the conversation with, that you zone out a little bit. My wife, she's made the biggest sacrifice of all, man, right?
My wife and kids and
exactly,
yep.
Right? Dirty, he's talked before, about doing Twitter Spaces, doing stuff like that. Man, it's a commitment, and the thing that sucks is it's what needs to be done: marketing, talking to people, everything else, to help get us where we're trying to go to accomplish everything that we want to accomplish.
And we'll get there. We'll all get there. One. You know how I say it, man. One day, one connection, one episode. All it just here's the thing that hit me, and everybody may just say that sounds too easy to be true, but put it to the fucking test. Anybody, okay? All it takes in this world today with the internet and all these fucking beautiful toys that we have socially and all that, as long as you have something valid to say, and I'm just saying this to everybody, right? Doesn't matter what it is. As long as you have something valid to say, and I'm trying to keep up with everybody over here, as long as you're consistent with it, you will gain people who are, and I'm not talking about followers like that, but to me, what I'm building is more connections, because I try to follow everybody that follows me. So if I get up to some, stupid number, it's not the same on the YouTube channel, but that's not where I don't sit and talk on this. This is just where I stream the shit and hopefully get subscribers so that one day this motherfucker will pay me so I can do this all day long, right? Twitter ain't going to pay me like that. But Twitter is where I make the connections. Twitter, for me is where, and I love, your space was one of the, I think it was the second or third one that but it was the second of its kind. And what I mean by that is I'd been to one other one twice. So it was the same space. But after years, I ended up doing my own, and now I'm doing those. You were at my space the other night. It's a whole, different type of thing, but yet very similar. But I love it because you can engage with anybody that walks in the room, right? Anybody that walks in the room, if you're doing spaces like you and I end up doing them, right? Anybody that walks in the room can say something, or they can just sit and listen. That's fine. If you just want to sit and listen, but it's about those connections. And it's one day at a time, one connection at a time, one episode at a time, one fucking space at a time. You keep doing it. Oh, dude, there it is. That stupid fucking movie. If you build it, they will come. I promise. If you just do it consistently, it will happen, and you will invoke change on a level that the only question, as I tell people in the world it is today, the only question that you have to ask yourself if you do it consistently is how much change will you invoke? Because you will invoke change. It's just a matter of how big will it be. Can I get an amen?
Yeah,
Amen now.
got it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, seriously, like it's yeah, it is all about the love. That's I hope, I don't know, NFT, if you're on Twitter, but and you maybe already follow me, because I'm not good with names, and if I didn't follow you, then send me a message and be like, follow me back, motherfucker. But yeah, that's what I mean. You'll see my channel is all about the same thing, dude. This channel, the Twitter, I mean, it's and I know Dirty and Duck have heard this multiple times from me. What I believe in is the balance. So the reality is, for 50 years, I was a negative Nilly, a dickhead, drug dealer, used, abused, did everything for me, did everything not for you. It was all about what can I get from you to move up to the next level. Now it's all about what can I give back, because now I feel like I have about half of that same amount of time to try to equal out my karmic balance, right? So I really am about the love and and I know I'm not going to put the fire out, dude. Was it you and I just talking about yin and yang today, Duck? Was it you and I talking
amongst everything else? Yeah,
amongst everything else. A lot of people don't look at the yin and the yang beyond just the fact that it's the yin and the yang. We all know the simple meaning of it, right? The balance. But what I always try to point out to people is, if you notice, what it is actually a big, this big black and then this big white, but there's always still inside the black a little bit of white, and then the, vice versa. And literally that's because even in us, when we're full of light, there's a little darkness in us, and the darkest of us have a little bit of light in us, right? That's just the way it is. That's the balance. Now I'm living on the other side. I was on one side, now I'm on the other. That's all there is. Shit, that's all there is to it, man.
Yeah, it's
I love you guys. I really, I know that you some people say it, but I have no fucking problem saying it. I love you guys. I love for you being here. I love where all this is going and where it continues to go. Thank you. And I really, to me, it's it's ever evolving, but I know that it's going to be an incredible journey. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, man. And again, thank you for having us. And I just wanted to say, anybody from the Twitter community that came over here with us, thank you. I appreciate you guys coming, man. Make sure you give
thank you very much.
Spirit here a follow on this YouTube page. We're going to try and get him to 250 when he gets there. He's got a wicked
t-shirt,
cool t-shirt that he's going to give away, man. I'm pining for the thing. I followed him. I got a 1 in 250 chance of getting me a t-shirt. So I'm trying like
hell.
That's
a pretty good odds. You don't get those at the lottery. I'll tell you that. They never say you have a 1 in 250 chance of winning, or else I'd be at that fucking place every day putting down $20 on those kind of odds.
Yeah, man. But just grateful that you had us on here, man. And
dude,
did you get the picture I sent you on your phone, brother?
Oh, you know what, man? I put that shit. If I don't remember to put that shit on, what's it called? Do not disturb. Then literally, while we're sitting here, every time one of these things even comments, man, we'll get bombarded. That's all I got to tell you. Oh, I missed some. Hold on, I missed some. I apologize. We got that one there from Strange Bird. I missed that one. But here, let me look. I'm gonna look. We got that one there. It's always a time to build. Always change is constant. and let's face it. Here, I did get it. Oh man, look at you. Look at that. I don't know. Can y'all? I'm gonna put it out on my Twitter, but let me see if I can get it.
Well, I'm actually gonna ask you not to yet, and I'll tell you the reason.
Oh shit! Okay.
That, okay. Well, I mean, you can show it on here. That's not a big deal. But
no, I'm gonna keep it private until you tell me I can show it to the world.
Well,
sorry, world. I apologize.
That's something that we're going to be minting into an NFT for you. Yeah, read that comment. That's a good one. That's about karmic debt.
Yeah, I gotta get the old. Look at this, Dirty. Now you talk about getting old. This is when you know you get old. On live, you're like, let me put my eyeballs on so that I can. Getting on the wheel doesn't. Hey, thank you so much. Who is that? Kawasaki Blue. Kawasaki Blue. Okay, sorry. It takes spirit sometimes. Remember, I called Mr. Zigzag.
That happens to be my witchy wife.
Oh, witchy woman. There we go. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for letting me steal so much time from you. And I mean that.
But yeah, what I was saying is
yes, please continue, sir.
We're going to take that. We're going to mint it into an NFT for you. There's a reason we haven't minted that into an NFT for you yet. And the reason behind that, I'll go ahead and put that out there now.
The floor is yours.
One of our big surprises, right? One of our
before you go, I just want to let everybody know this is a little something planned. So I will end up throwing up everybody's comments that come while this is happening. But for this particular part, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to mute myself. Dirty, if you wouldn't mind muting yourself for just a minute while he does this, and we're just going to let him have the floor. And then when you're done, just let me know, and everybody will come back. But I'm not going to put any comments up until we're done. Okay?
No, all I was going to say, we were going to give a couple surprises out on this show, man. Like I said, we're extremely grateful for you having us on, man. We appreciate you so much. We've had a lot of things that we've been working on for an extremely long time. And one of the things that we do is we never really bring things out to our community until we feel comfortable about the outcome of it, because we don't want to give false hopes or anything of that nature. But we're to a point now to where we have gained enough momentum and are moving forward far enough that we're really excited about what's in the very near future for us coming up. One of those things is going to be the first ever military owned NFT marketplace that is going to be owned by Military Vet Help, which means pretty much a portion of all the proceeds from this NFT platform are going to be going to help aid veterans in need. So there's a lot of really cool things about this platform that I'm not going to speak on yet, because we're still going through the beta testing of it. We still have a lot more work to do until we release it fully to the public. And of course, we don't want to give away a lot of the ideas that we put into this thing that have that are going to separate us from a lot of the other platforms, if not all of the other platforms that are out there right now. So with that being said, we do have an NFT platform that is coming out that's going to be ours. That picture that I sent you, that will be one of the ones that will be minted on that platform. Another thing that's going to be minted on there is a project from a Christian rapper named Jay Knox that has been working with Military Vet Help, that has a beautiful message. Our in-house artist got involved with him, and they put together a wonderful NFT collection. That's going to be minted on there, and many, many, many other projects that I'm not at liberty to talk about right now. But when we do that, another thing that we will be doing is actually moving from Military Vet Help, which, mind you, it will still be there. We will still be Military Vet Help, but we will be moving to the Military Vet Network. Okay. We're spreading out, we're branching out, we're networking all the way out. And this gives us the opportunity to reach further out into the crypto and NFT community, for military projects out there that are looking for a place to mint their NFTs. And now they have a home to go to that's going to spotlight the military personnel. Now, mind you, it's not a military strictly and only NFT platform. However, it is a platform that will put an emphasis on military-based projects and projects that are making donations to some form of group that is helping military, active duty, or veterans. It does not have to be Military Vet Help. If there's another group out there, another nonprofit that you're absolutely in love with, by all means, keep that going, because we're all fighting the same battle together, and we're not arrogant enough to think that us by ourselves are going to be able to accomplish all of this. And that's why we're creating the network. We want everybody to come together and fight together to accomplish the same goal, right? Unity in the community. That's kind of our brand. That's what we've been saying since day one. Unity in the community. We're bringing all of us together, fighting the same battle, which gives us all better opportunity at victory and ultimately taking 22-0. We also have a couple other things coming out. We're going to be releasing our roadmap. We're going to be announcing the new members of the family. We're up to 12 employees at Military Vet Help, and that blows my mind, considering that this was an idea that one gentleman brought to me and had the courage to talk to me about, and said, man, this is the craziest fucking idea I've ever had. And you're probably going to think I'm insane when I tell this to you, but this. And he told me everything. And that was the birth of Military Vet Help. We began with the housing side of it and housing homeless veterans, because our CEO, God bless him, was a homeless veteran for a while, quite a while, actually. So obviously that's something that's near and dear to his heart that he wants to eradicate as well. And it just so happens that's part of the problem with the 22. Some of that's from those situations and things of that nature. So there's that. Again, like I said, the rebranding to Military Vet Network will announce the 12 people that we brought on board and that are with us now. But that's basically all I'm going to give out right now, because there's so many things that if fell into the wrong hands of the wrong people, because you don't know, you haven't really lived in the Twitterverse for a long time, but it's full of snakes, brother. You're going to have to keep your grass trimmed shorter than short, man, because people love to push you down and love to stop what you're doing and love to try and stop your momentum, man. And we're not going to let anybody do that here. We keep our trade secrets locked up pretty tight.
Since I know you're done, let me go ahead and stop you there, partner. And let me
tell me all about there, fella.
Let me tell you a couple of things that might impress you when it comes to that. First of all, I mean, quite honestly, listen here, Zane. I
fucking love Chappelle, by the way. That is one of the greatest. Oh, dude, and I'll say this because I have what I feel like is one of the most, and I by the way, I'm gonna have to figure out. I think I'm probably gonna get some headphones, and we've got to get a better camera for you for the future.
That
focuses, because you're clear and there's enough light, but for whatever reason it won't. Well, we don't want you to go away now. Dirty, by the way, you look good, man. You come in crystal clear, buddy.
Bastard. I tell you,
you're gonna hit that bong again and blow smoke in everybody's face, because I know
I see. I get to watch. I've watched you every time when we're off camera, right into, bam. It's just.
Not only is he 10 times the badass that I am, not only is he better looking than I am, but he's younger, he's stronger. I can't stand the guy, but I love him to death all at the same time. There's a lot of hidden jealousy there between me and Dirty Medic, and I'm glad nobody's listening because it's my little secret, man.
Well, everybody's listening. I don't know if you're privy to it, but I will say this: I got a few. I'm going to come back up here and catch up just real quick. But while I'm doing that, let me say this. First of all, there's snakes everywhere, brother, and do remember, and I don't mean this in a rude way at all, but do remember, I was in a business that was. It's funny because you're really, when you're in the drug dealing business, and I mean this very, very seriously, you are either somebody who fucks over everybody, or you are somebody that lives by the true code. Because, believe it or not, just like the military, each branch even, there's a code amongst anybody in the military, and then each branch has their own code, right? Their own individual mantra, if you will. Drug dealers, there was a code that we live by too. One of the main codes you learn right off the bat is loose lips and bad relationships. You don't do either one, right? Like that's fucking code. Then there's other things that are considered honor, if you will. My only point is, and I would imagine that you guys will agree with this, or really more dirty on this one. I mean, even in the military, you have a bunch of great guys, but there's always some pieces of shit there too, man. Trust me, my family has told me about quite a few people who didn't hesitate to fuck their fellow officer or fellow grunt or whatever the situation might be in order to get themselves 2 boots up. You know what I'm saying? You have to watch out for it everywhere, is my point. Yeah. But here again, man, I'm always going to do this. This is just who I am. This is just how I see it. Here again comes back the balance, right? They are a necessity. Without them, things don't happen. And if you don't believe me, sometime go back and look. I dare each and every person that's here with us or ends up watching the stream, take someone who really fucked you over bad. And I mean bad. Seriously, do that. This is a great exercise, man, because it may surprise you. Take that and then follow it from that moment forward for as long as you can. And what I mean by that is the chain reactions, right? It's not hard. It just takes a little bit of marijuana and imagination. I'm teasing the party's imagination. But it just takes a little bit of focus, because I've done this myself. And I say this because every fucking bad situation, I mean, people fucking me over. I had people fuck me over for easily more than $5,000, and that's $1990. So you can imagine it was a bit more of a bite in the ass than even today. And that's still a bite in the ass. But every single thing that ever hurt me or fucking did me wrong, right? And it's just the truth. I followed it. Some of them took 10 years. They all were the catalyst. Had they not happened, I wouldn't have had a fucking incredible thing happen to me later on. So I don't have much other else to say. I think that probably sums it up for my stoned ass. I know this. I have literally cashed out these 3 bowls, or 2 bowls, and then I had 2 others that weren't quite cashed. I've been working on those while you guys were talking. So,
see, hey, look, on the bright side, the best thing part about having guests on is you could bring them up and man.
Hey man, why don't you talk for a while so I can go get fucking high, like really high.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you either? I'm going to do this last dab here, and then I'm going to. I am out of coffee today. I'll tell you that. So there's no way I can do my closing today. Oh, I got some more comments. I do need to catch up on this shit.
Another secret is I'm working.
For a minute, please. I gotta do this.
Another secret is I'm working very hard for a partnership with a coffee manufacturer, military-owned coffee company, and if that goes through, man, I'll send you out some of the coffee if it works out, man. We'll see.
Oh, dude, now you know damn well. Just make sure that don't send me any pre-ground. Everybody gives you both these days. Make sure to give me bean. You know what I mean? I like to grind that shit fresh, and I do it like I have a whole man. It takes way too long.
Somebody gonna give you something now. You're gonna be picky about it.
No, I just don't want
no.
Come on,
It's like the guy that comes in
know
your
they
house
have
and he's like,
beans.
"Hey man, you want a beer?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know. What kind you got, man?" It's like there's only
If you
one
want to
rule.
give
As
me
long as it's
ground
cold, man,
coffee,
it's good.
if you want to give me ground coffee, I will be just as appreciative of it as I would the bean.
I'm just busting your balls, man. You know that.
They're on the ground, man. You know that's what starts to happen. You should already be knowing that. You're 49.
You gotta
They
be
are.
careful, man.
Trust me, brother. They are
watch not
lower
to
than they
sit on
were
them, man.
10
That's
years
the
ago.
worst.
I'm that's what I'm saying, man. I've already sat on a couple times. I've had damaging moments from unfortunately how low these fucking things want to hang on me nowadays. I lost track of a joint or two or wait. Oh, I like it, Dave. That's exactly the kind of fucking stoner comment. That's exactly what I was looking for. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna get high again. I don't know. So I am gonna say this, and then I'm gonna close it. So if you guys want to say anything while I do this dab, now is your moment to close it until the next episode. To the next episode. That's a fucking Dre. So you may not know that.
Well, I'm
Dirty.
Dirty
You might,
Medic.
but go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Dirty Medic. My Twitter is going to be dirty_medic. Facebook, Instagram is mr.dirtymedic, so Mr. Dirty Medic, representing military bad help, and I'm also I'm the cannabis guy pretty much, man. I talk to a lot of weed smokers, for medical and recreational purposes, and I reach out to a lot of vets through that way too. I also pretty much discord.gg urban growers, and that's the Discord you catch me on if you add Dirty Medic, and this is what I do on my off time to relieve my PTSD. So these are my growers right now.
Go follow his ass because that shit is live 24 hours. You can literally, if you follow it and record it, you can do like daily fucking, you know what I'm trying to do here, Medic, right? If they record the screen, then they can fucking do a time lapse. Time lapse. That's what I was trying to get. And dude, if you do 24 hours of fucking weed, you will see that shit grow with your own eyes, and that shit is fucking cool.
So my Twitch stream is going to be twitch.tv Dirty Medic, and I play AMSR music, some chill, relaxed music with scenes changing around every minute, I think. 3 different perspectives, and a nightlight for the photo tent at nighttime. So we talk about growing and everything else, and I believe that everyone should grow their own. You shouldn't be paying these market commercial prices when you can just do it yourself. And it's really easy. I mean, I have a TBI. I'm farming my shit out. I'm good. So catch me on Military Bad Help also. I'm like I said, I don't know what label. Duck, what is my label thing? I don't know what I am.
At dirty_medic.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
A favor.
I'm 4 bowls in right now.
I know your Twitter. I know your Twitter, Dirty, but if you wouldn't mind doing me a favor after the show so that you can, because I know you can't do it right now. I was looking over here. I keep forgetting the fucking cameras. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
If you wouldn't mind going into Twitter chat and send me all those links that you just discussed, like each and every one of them. That way I can copy them and put them into the description of the show. I might not have it done tonight, but once, the show stays here forever. So I'll get them in as soon as you send them to me. And I change I'm going to go, I'll put them in at least later tonight if you send them to me. Promise.
Okay. And just one more lack of advice, pretty much. When, if anybody approaches you and they just need to talk, I'm almost guarantee you they're not looking for you to fix their situation. So sometimes these vets just want to vent things out. All right. I'm not speaking for everyone, but that's what a hard look in the mirror for me was. I needed someone that, I didn't need judgment. I didn't need someone to judge me on what I've done or what kind of calls I made on deployment, that type of stuff. So when I found Military Bad Help, that's the way I felt, and got involved with them. I even sent them KYC. I sent them my own military resume of my job handles and my titles and everything too, to get verified to do this, be on Military Bad Help. So. Just understand everyone reaches out in a different way. You can't solve everyone's problem, but sometimes it just, what I like to say is in the military, courage means something to do when no one else is looking. At this point in time, with the way the world is right now, courage right now is taking the willingness to sit down and just listen. Just listen. Everyone has something to say.
Preach.
Everyone. It takes a bigger person to just sit there and listen and just pat them on the back and say, you know what, we're good. You don't have to understand it. It doesn't have to make sense to you. It just needs to come off his chest before the bottle pops. There's signs and symptoms to see. Everyone has a different type of PTSD. I recognize my triggers. I try to embrace them and register them. I don't use weed to escape a different place. My triggers are more mentally now since, you know, I've been going to counseling. So to describe it, like buying a hot dog and I bite into dirt, my body will tense up. My mind's still catching up, but my body's tensing up. That's a PTSD trigger for me, right? But weed soothes it for me, where I can be in the crowd, where I can just acknowledge it, recognize it, and then let it go.
Move through. Just move
Exactly.
through.
It takes a big person. Even something like me, if you guys knew my military history and what it takes a big person to talk. And just knowing that, you know, how many people I've seen on my team commit suicide while I'm active duty, let alone an active duty member get shot on the gate at my command during peacetime by another active duty member, and suicides. And just sit there and wonder, what if it was just that one conversation? I'm not going down that rabbit hole, but sometimes, like I say, it's just letting them talk. That's all it is. You catch me on those handles. I said Instagram, Facebook, mr.dirtymedic. Twitter is Twitter_medic. And then Twitch is twitch.tv/dirtymedic. Just, you don't even have to talk about anything. We can smoke a blunt, go into the Discord, do a sesh.
Yeah, man.
Talk
I don't
about
know if
gaming.
people, I don't know that all people know, just because, other people that may watch this in the future,
Yeah.
but Discord is absolutely free and you can do all the same things you do. And it's also secure, and you can create a private account. So you can go in there. You don't have to necessarily say your name if you want to just be anonymous. You know what I'm saying? Like, however you need to get in there. And you can still do phone calls. You can do voice calls, as well as video calls, as well as just texting too. So I mean, you can do it all in there.
I've had some people come up to me and they just want to talk about anything and everything, but not what they want to talk about. And that's cool. As long as you let them talk. That frees up their mind of what's on their shit so they can handle what's going through their mind. They don't got to talk about their problems. They just want to talk.
Sometimes people just want to be heard. They want to know that they're being heard.
Yeah, and sometimes taking up a hobby like growing marijuana if it's legal in your place. Urban growers, that's where we're at. Sorry, man, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, dude. I was interrupting you, and it just gave me a chance to get my bottle because, bro, I've told you, living here at 7,000 feet, I was in the Southeast for 46 years, man. There is no fucking humidity up here, bro.
One quick story, man. Since I just fucking
go ahead.
Another bowl. Remember that last night's podcast that you did? I forget which one it was, but you did something strange when you were doing wrestling.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a story back when I was deployed one time. I think we went in through Kuwait, going past TQ and through Iraq, Green Zone, Baghdad Airport. There's a safe zone over there where we re-up and get munitions and everything else. You know, kind of like where the last place you get your Marie Calendar cakes, you know, and your high seas and everything else before you fucking embrace the suck, pretty much. But there's a little outpost over there. One of my guys, right? We have our unit has our own little storage locker, you know, where our weapons are and all that other stuff. And we also have our own little liquor locker, you know, stuff like that out there. Right. We're fermenting our own shit, right?
No, dude, so I've heard many stories already.
One of the new chiefs came in and shit, right? He said, "Hey, man, we got to go. We're about to have a meeting right now." So, yeah, what kind of meeting? So we have a chiefs meeting, man. We got to go over by that. We got to go over there by, I think it was Tango 1 or some, I forget it, you know. But we had to go to that location. So we didn't want to walk it, right? So we got one of the patrol vehicles that was actually on patrols to give us a ride. They wouldn't give us a ride, right? And then, so he called it in to his buddy that's on that watch that night and told them to give him a ride and listen to whatever, you know, Chief said, you know. So we went in there, right? And the first thing he says while we get in there, while he sits in the middle, and he's like, "Hey, John, we sit in the middle by the turret and everything." He says the same story that you told about wrestling. Just like that, man. I'm like, dude, I'm just being fucking thankful I'm getting a ride there. I don't want no one thinking I'm smelling like alcohol on the way back. But he's just like, I was like, oh, man. So if you haven't heard that story, Doug, that's one of the things like I'm saying. When I watch you, like, you never serve, but the people I served with, it's the same mentality as you and me. You know, you say it straightforward, 100. They're going to hurt your feelings or a kid. But at least I say that straightforward, you know, guilty conscience. If you don't want my opinion, you shouldn't ask for it.
You've seen me post several of those, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, and coming back around to what you were saying earlier, Duck, or, you know, we were talking about the bad things happen. You know, I mean, here's the reality, dude. Like, even when somebody doesn't follow me anymore or says some shit, because like I've already had that happen, man. I actually talked about that. I don't know if you saw that episode, but I took a big hit, if you will, you know, socially speaking, that kind of demoralized me. I mean, it didn't slow me down. It didn't change me. In fact, I fucking ended up having a hell of a show that night. You know, and I think what's really funny is, so the me beforehand, right? Like, just real quick, when you're in that dickhead mode, it's weird because when something bad happens, it really stops you. Like you might go into, at least me, I would go into like days, maybe even a week of depression, right? Like where everything fucking sucked. Now, when the same caliber thing happens to me, that whole fucking process is reduced to like maybe 4 or 5 hours at best, depending on, like, because I mean, I just know I'm at the point. And you know, it's funny because Duck and I were talking about this shit again earlier today, but I'm at that point. And I don't think you ever reach full enlightenment until the fucking moment that, you know, you pass over. That's my belief. That's fucking enlightenment, because then you're not here anymore and you're enlightened of what the fuck it is, right? So until then, you can never reach enlightenment here on earth, in my opinion. But as I get to this point where I'm so accepting of what's happening around me, that's why I can say, man, it's easier to process it, and it just doesn't, like, shit like that just fucking rolls off, dude. Now, the only difference between you and me is the weed helped you come to that place because you couldn't, at least what I'm hearing, and if I got it wrong, man, you just like, man, shut the fuck up. But, you know, from what I'm hearing, you couldn't do that until you couldn't find that centering place for yourself until you found the weed that allowed you to get rid of all that other stuff.
When I retired, they had me on a slew of medical.
Yeah, they already had you on a cocktail, right, before you even retired.
I was on SSI blockers. You know, it wasn't the depression, anxiety, and all that stuff was all SSI blockers. So I was a complete zombie. I didn't have a personality, nothing like that, you know. And the people around me, they just felt uncomfortable. They thought, you know, I was always mad, like I was about to pop off or something. I even took like pre-workout stuff and trying to go to the gym. You know, I take 2 doses of pre-workout. I just not motivated, you know, that blocked everything. So when I got off of that and then started smoking weed, you know, like a bowl in the morning for my coffee, and then probably one about right before dinner, and then an indica at night, you know, to make sure I don't sleepwalk or anything. I'm good. I'm good out the rest of the day. I'm functional. You know, I can take pre-workout. I can work out. I don't take you know, a lot of people like me that serve for a long time, our safe zone, whether you realize it or not, whether you're married to that vet or just dating that vet, is our home. So if you ever wonder why he has road rage or he's always in a rage trying to get home or trying to get to the store and back, is because that's his safe zone. He's trying to get home.
Right. That's base.
You know?
That's base.
That's where we try to go. But like smoking weed and everything, I'm cool. I'm chill. You know, I'm not freaking out at Disneyland. You know, I'm not thinking like, you know, someone's out there with the IED or something strapped around their waist.
I'll just say this again. I get it's crazy what, you know. I know you say what you say, and I still have what I feel like is a greater respect for you. But the shit that I went through in my life, like there was times where I was extremely paranoid. I did drugs, you know, throughout my life that took me into many of the same places that your war zones took you into, where I questioned reality around me. I thought people were out to get me. You know, I fucking stole marijuana from Mexican cartel. That's a fucking story that y'all haven't even gotten to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like onto the shore.
If you think about just the sheer basics of my job without giving out my job, just like my boy Waddle said, my sheer basics of my job is to make sure that person stays alive or confirm that person is dead. I have all its essentials, everything else, but that's the sheer basics of my job.
That's why. Well, that's my point, dude. When you call me a badass, I don't know what to call you to 10 times that. You understand what I'm saying, dude? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, brother. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have respect for what I've done. I love myself. I know that I've paid my dues in my own way, and I have nothing but respect. I mean, you know, my grandfather was, just so those of you who don't know, my grandfather was a survivor of the USS California, one of the very few.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
So that's some badass shit, right?
Paved the way for the rest of us.
Right, dude. I mean, it is what it is, right? But here's my point, like, and I'm just gonna say it as you know me, Dirty. You've already seen me. I'm pretty blunt about it. I've never killed a man. I held a gun to a man's head. Again, that's another story. I was that close. Safety off, gun, head. He had threatened to kill me and my woman. Again, I'm not gonna tell the whole story. That's the quick and fucking nutshell of it. You have had to make that decision on what I know is already more than any number of occasions I would even want to have to deal with that. And then you have to come back and live here, dude.
I'm gonna say it like you,
man.
I'm gonna say it like you. I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to be alive. Every breath I take.
There's a reason.
That one breath can help someone, and yeah, if that one breath can help someone grow, take their anxiety out on growing a plant, or that one person needs to talk on just anything. You don't even have to give location names or nothing. Just
right. That's why I was pointing out the Discord. Like, you can make a whole fucking, just like Twitter. You can make a whole persona on there that's not based on any of your real. Go get on a VPN. I mean, I'm just telling you how to do the shit. For anybody who doesn't know, get a VPN. Go get a fucking fake email address from any fucking place that gives out free email addresses. Just do free email. There's like 100 of them, and then make you a fucking count. Like, that's all it takes.
I even got one better for you. Just get with Bernie and Duck, and he'll set everything up for you.
He'll cover your ass for you as well.
I don't like dealing once I finish something, I like moving on to something else. So he's a really good guy at planning. I count on him a lot.
Well, listen, man, my whole point, and I hope you heard it. I know you did, but I just want to make sure that the audience hears it. I have nothing but respect for all of the men, women. Quite frankly, I'll even say it this way, because you went in as a boy, and you already talked about that. So the boys, the girls, the men, and the women, that have served, that are going to serve, and we're gonna do what we can, man. I mean, I wish I had something better to say on that, but we're gonna just keep doing it. I know that you're fucking there. I'm gonna continue to support you because I think what you're doing is badass, and I don't. When I say this, I hope you take disrespectful. I don't care if you see it that way or not, but to me, everything happens for a reason. And that is exactly why you made it through the shit. Because I bet you, just like me, I know I have, and what I mean by that is they're not the same stories, sir, by any means, but I got about 9 times that I should fucking not be here. Like, I know it. Like, times where I literally breathed in that moment of like, this is it, and then shit changed, right? I've had that. I know you've had it. So if you've had it, then you're here for a fucking reason. In fact, my belief is every single person is here for a reason until their reason is over. Period. Yeah. That's the easiest way to say it.
Yeah, I believe it.
Well, we connected the first time. That's why I love you, man. I really do. I love that you came on. I love that you're willing to do all this. I love that you help them, each and every person out there. I love that you put yourself out there for just, it's similar but dissimilar. Obviously, what we do. There's a lot of similarities, but then there's obviously some that aren't. But to me, it's about making that connection, dude. I don't know if you've heard me say this one. I bet you have. But to me, I truly believe in 6 degrees of separation. That's what the butterfly effect. That's why it's real, right? You do something here, and somebody over in China fucking gets affected by it, right? Yeah. That's never been more prevalent. And I've probably fucking missed some shit. That's never been more prevalent to me than in the day and age that we are in with all this technology, right? Because my shit right now is streaming on YouTube, and we all know that I can be in India, Australia. I mean, I have people that have literally commented from at least 4 different continents, not counting the US, right? So obviously the shit's going out there like that. And I mean, it's I'll stop, dude. We got to go. I've already taken
Oh, look at that shit. There it is. Y'all really got to go find his stream and watch it. The shit is 24/7. That's so bad that and it's he's on his fourth
Kind of bonsai harvest and the 7th season for the big tent.
Yep.
The small tent is a 4th season and the big tent is 7th season.
It all, you know, it just to wrap it up, it really does all happen for a reason. It's never been more prevalent to me than today, because what's really funny, like I told you, every time now something bad happens, that moment, like I told you, it takes up to at the most 4 or 5 hours, right? Sometimes it's just minutes. I mean, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
But the moment that I make the decision that everything's okay and that I'm okay with it, something fucking really great happens every time. Now, no coincidences, man. I don't fucking believe in them. I don't believe in them. They're gone.
Oh, man.
There's just no fucking way that shit's happening, because I just get, you know, say, no, that's not a coincidence. It's like a big dick. Yeah, hit me in the forehead. I had to be careful not to hit this mic. I fucking hate it. I really want my mic back, because then I can get a little crazy with my mic. This is limiting, but we'll fix that in the future. Don't worry. Well, listen, thank you everybody, every single person that's come, everybody that I think I got that one. I hope I got that one. Let me just get these real quick. Yep, there we go. I'm caught up. NFT, nice having you here. Kawasaki Blue, thank you for your sacrifice. And you know what I mean by that. All right, folks. Have a wonderful evening until the next episode. Just for those that watch the show regularly, as far as the Spirit of Four Donkey, that's tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel. I'll be going on at 7. We ended up going, if you can believe it, gentlemen, we went 2 fucking hours.
I'm just getting warmed up, man.
I know, dude. What people don't understand, I have to stop now when I go live, because I could just fucking sit here for the rest of my life. But I have a fucking family. You know, I've got like multiple kids that are probably like, what the fuck, Dad? You never go that long. I guarantee you the battery that I hook up for my little on-air design that I have, that motherfucker's dead. Because that's like a battery pack. That ain't got Listen, though,
I need to get one of those. I gotta get one of those.
I'll show you, dude. It was cheap. I got it on Amazon for $30, dude. $30, and you can get. I found 2 battery packs. And what I mean by that, it's a twofer that are 20. So $50, and you'll have the batteries that you need, as well as the light that you need. And then you can put it anywhere you want it. You know what I'm saying? Make it obviously, I know you probably want to put it like right outside the door or something like that. Like, stay the fuck away while I'm doing my filming. Film time.
Because my garden's in the secret room. That's why.
Oh, I like that too.
You got to go in through a toolbox to get to my garden.
Oh, I like it. So. All right. Well, I'm gonna shut it down, because I know we've done it before, man. How many times? I just have to say this. This is my last comment. Dirty and I haven't had as many. This is only like 3rd time now that we've actually talked face to face. But Duck and I have had many conversations now, and it's funny because it's literally now. I feel like I have to take a fucking crowbar. Be like, Duck, I mean, I swear to God, I know this is the 8th time I said I'm hanging up now, but I'm hanging up. So just today, I just have to tell this a quick story just so that they get a little bit of the spirit of 420. So on our literally 8th or 9th time saying that this afternoon on what was supposed to be a 3-minute call that was now well over an hour, Duck was like, I just texted you something, but don't read it until we hang up. Goodbye. Because he knows if he had said that shit, we would have been on the phone for another fucking 10 minutes. It was no. And I know what's funny, Medic, not only you, but James, I think all, you know, I know that James has had those kind of conversations. That's the kind of bonding that's been going on. I just, you know, I'm sure you do the same thing with Duck. So I imagine if you and I ever get on the score, man, it's probably going to be one of those that's like hard to get us off, man.
No, man. When I talk to Medic, I'm like, we get 5 minutes into it, and he's like, hold on, man. A bus just ran over a dog. I got to go. I mean,
a bus just ran.
He'll come up with something, man. He cuts it off just like that because he knows.
I'm straight to the point, man. I'm straight to the point.
That's funny. I like that. That's a good one. All right. Well, listen. I I think this is even more proof of and I saw somebody throw up I saw it earlier, some hashtag for strange. Where was that? I ran it. There it is. I'm going to put this back up because I like that. It ain't mine. I like it, NFT. Mine is be more strange, and strange is good.
Stronger
but you know what?
together.
Oh, that's stronger together. You know what?
Yeah, that's why they call it dope, man.
I'm a stoner.
All right, that's why.
I hope you can see how that looks like stranger to me, though, with blurry ass eyes. Man, I told you I need these. Look, dude, how sad is that? I swear to God that I saw an A. It only takes an A, man. It only takes an A to make that shit stranger. That's all I'm saying. You know what then? Fuck it, NFT. I'm gonna steal your shit and add it to the hashtags. I'll use that one too, but I'll also have stranger together because I believe that everybody needs to go ahead.
Some reason I can send you a private chat, but I can't talk in the regular chat. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah,
there
we haven't set up the regular chat there, Dirty. We're
Did y'all not get here? I'll put this up though because I can post this shit. Here you go. Hold on.
It might be his side because we both can't access the regular chat.
I thought
the
y'all
chat
were.
thing you got to sign up for.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you if you just do and we'll go into the details later, Dirty, for the next time.
Yeah.
It's a free account, dude. If you just sign up for a free account with StreamYard, you'll be able to chat too. You'll get a different screen once you're signed in. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
That's my bad, dude. I forgot to. I'm new to StreamYard, dude. So I'm new to all this. I mean, if it matters,
I got to say it before we go. You took a drink. That gives me my cue, man. This is all I have to say, and it's just to somebody out there that's listening, man. To piggy off back what Dirty Medic said, man, if somebody comes to you, the best thing you could do is listen. Don't try and be a topper. Don't try and tell them. Don't be the guy that somebody comes to you and say, I broke my arm, and you say, man, I know all about it, man. A year ago, I broke my arm, my leg, and my big toe, man. I know what you're going through. You don't. You don't know what anybody's going through because everybody's pain is different. So if somebody has gathered the courage to come to you, to speak to you, to talk to you, just listen and tell them it's okay. Shine a little light into their life. All right? And if you're that person, if you are that one person, I don't know where the camera is, but if you are that one person that right now you're hurting, you're wondering, you're trying to figure out what it's about, you're trying to figure out purpose, I'm here to tell you, man, you're here for a purpose. Your life has value. You are an important individual. Don't quit. Never give up. You're going to find somebody that loves you, somebody that cares about you. And if they're not in your everyday life, at Mike Cap, KAPP5, at Mike Cap5 on Twitter, DM me. Say, brother, I'm hurting. I will message you back. You can ask my wife. She's in this thread. I probably check my DMs entirely too much. But that's because I can't help the fact that I care. I can't help the fact
I know,
I
brother.
won't give up on somebody that needs somebody's help. Okay, brother? So, brother or sister, if you're the one out there, man, don't quit. Don't give up. Somebody loves you. I love you. I know you're valuable. And we're going to help you out, man. Come find us. That's what we're here for.
As many as just reach out. Like you said, just reach out. That's all it takes. Like it just takes, like you said, that that's the only step that has to happen on the other end. Just reach out. But
hell of a space, man.
Man, I mean, I love you, brother, but you like I wanted to put that shit up on the screen, and I could not do that at that time. I mean, obviously I can't do that. And clearly, I know, Blue. I know that shit. You fucking said it quite quite well. Easier. I mean, these are still funny. I don't think I did these before, and if I did, then I'm fucking stoned.
I damn near smoked an eighth this past 2 hours.
Dude, I'm so high. I mean, good. Amen. We got an amen.
I'm crying it right now.
Got laughed. I like this one though. I do like this one. So I'm pretty sure I'm fucking reading that correctly, Dave. Dave has it. Stranger than glasses. So we got a strange one there. I like it. # stranger than glasses. Thank you, Dave. I will do this just to end the show since we've had that one running. Just so y'all know, these are all the ones. I'm just going to run them here while I say my little parting ways. I hope you folks don't mind the 3 honored gentlemen that are with us this fine evening. I'm not going to do it like a fucking Jerry Springer show and give you a final thought that's somehow different. That shit, I mean, I used to love him, but no, just simply put, most people don't realize just how normal strange is. Part of being strange is that we all have our own opinions. Everybody's opinions. Everybody believes that everybody's opinions smell like shit, stink like shit, right? Well, mine stink like coffee and weed. I love all of you people. We've been on here forever. I have to go back to life. I have to get off here. There we go. Thank you so much. We're going to be doing another one. Please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, take the time, if you got a Twitter account, to go over and enter the contest, because that's the only two things. You just subscribe and follow, and you got a chance to win what is essentially about a $40 shirt. So 1 in 250 chance of winning a $40 shirt. These guys have a lot of stuff to give and a lot of stuff to offer. Please seek them out. With that, thank everybody for coming. Leave those plants on for a minute. Hold on just real quick. I'm gonna do this. Look at that. Look at that man's grow. You like that? Instead of look at that man go, look at that man grow. Nice. You know what? We'll do it right there. That feels perfect to me. So I'm going to go back over here. Everybody, thank you so much for coming. We will see you on the next episode. That will be tomorrow night. Have a great night.